Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tina and it's a beautiful day to be creating with you. I'm really looking forward to making this project with you today. This is a layout that appears in our current Close to My Heart catalog of July, August. And as soon as I saw it, I knew exactly what I wanted to do because my son was on his church softball team. Season is over now, and I knew without a doubt that I was remaking this because look what they did. They gave us about every sport that you could imagine. So I'm going to be using this as a Best My Sketch challenge. And what I did is I'm also going to be making a golf one as well. I'm going to use this for a couple of sports, but just to share some ideas, this layout could be done and replacing these circles with hearts or flowers, or maybe even just some stamped verses or sayings. It has a lot of versatility. All right, we're going to dive in, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Now, I am currently making sure to just shop my stash. I want to pull out a lot of the old things that I have that are tucked away and actually use them up. And so look at this, the enamel and glitter duo dots. I cannot tell you how long I've had these from Close to My Heart, but I have them. They match my layout. They're going to be good. I plan on adding a couple of stars that I have in this one here. So I pulled out our regular blue as well. I've done some pre-work, but here's that baseball. We're going to call it softball, just like that. And I'm using the Loving Right Now stamp set, which I will be using this in a lot of my upcoming scrapbooking projects. I actually skimmed over this, found it when I was looking on the website. I'll put all the links in the description of the video for you, but sometimes it's nice to go click on a particular topic there. So I just clicked in, I looked at all the stamps and I found this and I went, whoa, I could definitely use tons of that. So I did a little pre-work, but let's go ahead and go. All right. So one of the things that I decided to do was focus on speed. How fast am I going to be able to recreate this? And I know different people like to do things in different ways. So I'm going to tell you, if you want to do it as a paper saver, you could measure a small piece out here. You could add a tiny piece over here, small piece here, tiny piece here. You could do the math to calculate it. You could do all kinds of things. I'm just going to tell you how I got to it super quick. I said I need it to be a 12 by 12. Now, this looks to me like maybe it could be, done in different sizes very easily, right? So broken down, but I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I said, okay, 9. I got about 1/8 of an inch in between those. I calculated those up. I landed on, I wanted all my strips to be exactly the same, and I wanted to keep this super easy. So I went with 1 1/8 inch because we're going to cut off those edges anyway. All right. And I decided I'm not dealing with little pieces. So I guesstimated about how big I thought I would want, how much I'd want to cover up on this. And this is what I first came out with, but I'm actually going to end up cutting a little bit more off of this. So I'll give you that measurement in just a few. I did my softballs. And I grabbed a title. Now, I think this is Moxie, the Stampin' Thing Cut Moxie, and I didn't have that. One of the reasons I didn't get it is I like to have an upper and a lower case. And this particular alphabet, even though the golf is great, it has upper and lower cases mixed together. So my squares are 1 by 1 squares, and I grabbed a 3/4 of an inch, give or take, alphabet out of my stash. So I shopped my stash. All right, I have a couple of extra pieces here, some of our mix-ins, and we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and start putting this together. Okay, I've been looking forward to doing this one. All right, as I said, all my pieces are the same, 1 1/8, but we do need to leave a little bit of a gap on this side over here. So I've cut them back. At least I hope I've cut all them back at 11 3/4, excuse me. All right, so let's hope that I have a little bit of a replacement, but we're gonna see how it goes. All right, let's go ahead and put this down. I have a piece of white daisy, and I'm gonna build just the background first. Just the background first. Okay, I want to start in the middle. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That middle one is going to be this piece right here. All right, I think I'm just going to cut this in half because I only need a little bit. We're going to trim the edge of it, but it'll be easier, and then I can get it at both ends there. Here we go. All right, and I'm thinking I want to add the honey butter. I think I want to add the honey butter at the bottom. I'm going to do the blue at the top and the honey butter at the bottom. So I'm just going to ignore it, and I put adhesive on it. I'm ignoring where it stops, and I'm just kind of focused on that 1/8 of an inch little gap right there instead. All right. All right. Let's grab the toffee ink. Okay. You can see I've been heavily using my toffee to do watercolor techniques in my tray there. I love our stamp pads. The magnetic closure is fantastic, but the tray is my favorite. I'm just going to go ahead. My title says softball. They're 1x1 squares. I'm going to get all of these inked up, and I will be right back. Okay, I have these all inked up, and now what I want to do is make sure that I'm able to see them and add some dimension. So I'm going to add one of our square foam tape pieces to the back of all of these. I'll just go ahead and pop my title aside because we're going to put that on after we do some inking. Okay, so in the original here, I did my title in sapphire as I'm bringing some of that color in, but also there's that background color that's been added. It looked like there was a textured stamp there, so shopped my stash, and I found this one, which I've had for a long time, but I think it's going to work great. I've also decided that I'm focusing on the infield, not the outfield, even though he plays outfield. I'm going to focus on the infield, and I want to add some brown. So I'm going to be using, bringing in some toffee and stamping with that and changing the colors up of this. I'm going to do this little side area over here, though, white, just like this little tiny one right here. And I want to mark that off now. So I have a 1/4 inch piece of sapphire, and I'm going to be putting that the dark side up. So I'm going to add that so that I keep all my inking techniques and everything and all my stamping on the other side of that so that that area stays nice and white. All right, I'm going to turn this sideways because I seem to line things up better when I'm working across than up and down. I would love to know if that's just a me. All right, I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch. There we go. That way, as I do everything, I'll keep that nice little white, and I would say it was even like a smaller amount than that, but it's okay. I liked that look. It changed the paper up and made the paper feel like it was larger, and I really liked it. All right, I'm going to be using a brush to add some toffee to my background, and I'm also going to be adding some textured stamping with that as well, using that ink blot, and I'm going to choose this one right here. Now, it's always great to have textured stamps in your stash. I've been using them for years, and the best thing about them is there's so many different kinds. You can use them for all different things. I really liked this one, but it just seems like they're just such a classic thing that you can keep. All right, I have a little bit of toffee on here, and I'm going to go with less is more and just kind of keep adding some. I tend to be heavy-handed, so I'm trying not to press too hard, but the struggle is real for me. And I like how now I'm starting to see more of that toffee color because I've got, my brush has got a good bit absorbed on it, and I'm starting to layer the color nicely. And we know it's all going to match because I'm using the same color throughout the layout. I thought this was a great way to change this up and add these other colors to it. And that way you might change yours up. There's so many of the stamps that were available with this. I mean, the football, and you could even just do, it doesn't have to be someone playing the sport. I mean, if you want to scrapbook about how much you love your favorite team, you're all set up to go. Or another thing that I thought that these would be so perfect for, the Olympics. I mean, we don't always get everything exactly when we're supposed to get it, but you know, stuff like that we have diehard Olympic people. I think this would be a great collection, you know, for whichever you have, or World Cup or whatever it might be. Okay, I'm going to start adding some of my spotted pieces to this now. I just knew this was going to be a fun layout to make because you get to do so many different things. I'm not worried about it being neat. Here's my layout. I'm not worried about it being neat. I'm not even worried about it matching. I'm just adding. Wherever they end up being, it's going to be a-okay with me. If my pictures cover them, I'll add some more. But as long as they stayed to this side of that line, I knew I could pretty much do whatever I wanted. I feel like I'm right where I want to be. But just in case if I bring that one here, I think I'll go right there. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we have this nice background. We have all of this color. It's great. Now, I have these softballs, and you know what? They're a little on the clean side. They're just a little on the clean side. So what's left on my little brush here, well, not so little because I think I'm using a larger one, I'm going to just run out on these and just kind of add a little bit. I stamped these with sapphire ink, and then I just used a colored pencil to color in my heart, and I like that you can personalize them so easily. Something else you could do is team colors. You know, when you're coloring the heart on these, you could focus on the team colors for those. I thought that would be a cute idea too. I just, you know, they're not supposed to be this. Actually, some of the softballs are like neon yellow, but we're not going to be adding that to the layout. All right, there we go. I think I'll like those a little bit better. I didn't want them to be too clean. There we go. Okay, all right, I'm gonna bring in my other little pieces that I've stamped with this stamp set. It is called Loving Right Now, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of use out of it. It says, so this happened. I have feeling happy. I did that in the toffee as well, and I dovetailed it, feeling, and then you get to put whatever word you want in there. I have this little tab, and I'll put all the details, and I have Loving Right Now, which I'm not sure what I wanted to do with, so I left it. I stamped all of these with just some scrap paper, and I'm going to grab some white daisy. I always have some scrap white daisy right next to me. And I'm going to cut a few journaling strips. I always do my journaling strips about the same size. If I'm going to do handwritten, I do them at 3/8 of an inch. It's what I'm comfortable with, and you should just go with, you know, whatever's best for you that you like as well. I'm going to cut these at 3.5. And I definitely want to get, you know, a couple of things on here. This was at not their home field because they don't have a home field at their church. So, I want to get that, the dates, and they actually made it to the championship. So it was a really good one, or to the playoffs. And so it was a good season for them. Okay, so I'll be all ready with that. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring my pictures in and lay those out. I'd love to put Dirt Don't Hurt. And right here on this one, I have to put a personal fave. These are some stickers that I always have near me. I buy these all the time, the storytelling packs, and I'm not sure if there's any still available, but I'll put the details if they are available in the description. I also have the black ones from another kit, and I love to add details to my photos or words or anything like that, but this is just where I get to really personalize this picture here, because I'm putting Run, Jacob, Run. And the reason why is story time while I do my little letters. Jacob, actually, we went to Minnesota, and his senior year, he did a project, and he had to do a timeline project. So he had to pick a movie or a book that had a timeline in it, and he chose Forrest Gump. And he must have watched, he got an A on the project, by the way, but he must have watched that movie dozens of times, just dozens of times. And so we were in Mall of America at Bubba Gump's, and he decided, oh, I need my A first. He decided to take the little test they give to see if you could, you know, win a free dessert or an appetizer or something. And she stopped asking him questions. The lovely lady that was our server she was really a sweetheart, but she stopped asking him questions and stared for a minute, and she said, I'll be right back. I'm gonna have to go get my manager. Jacob was the first person who had ever gotten through the entire trivia to answer all the questions, so they didn't know what to do, and they ended up giving him his entire dinner for free. So good things can come from watching a movie 80 million times, I guess. But yeah, so we always have a lot of fun with Forrest Gump humor. All right, so I'm gonna have Run Jacob run on this, and I like to build, you notice I will do my layers, or my letters, excuse me, from side to side. I started in the middle to kind of size that up. I'm not real great with spacing, and I have found that this working little back and forth motion tends to work really well for me. Okay, but you can see there are so many letters in here. I almost never even use the other cards. I love it. And now I have Run Jacob Run. It's super cute. It's perfect. So perfect. All right, I'm gonna put my my top picture in here so that I can get a lot of that nice dirt there. And this actually goes beyond when I put this on here. You can see it's going to go over to this area here and go in there. And then this one's going to kind of go right here like this. I'm going to move that up a little. So I'm just kind of doing some spacing before I put my title in, and then I'll bring everything in. And I'm going to want to have softball. And I have a longer title. So there's also things like that to, you know, to consider when you change some things up. I may have to move some stuff down, or provide a bigger arch so that I can get it all in. Okay. And we'll see if we can bring it around. And I like that these little square tiles that I made to do the title also kind of match the little ones that I put on the little picture there. Okay, and I do a lot of times I will do, so I don't have to measure it out, I'll kind of sporadic, like space them up and down and intentionally make them look like they are not meant to be a perfect straight line. I just think it's it hides mistakes. That's what I think. Does that help? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. Pretty happy with it. I'll make sure I don't touch them too much, because I don't want to end up with a gap on the other end when I noticed there was a little bit of one on this one. And just kind of turning them a little, moving them up or down. Okay. There we go. Oh, I think that looks great. Let's go ahead and bring in the base page. Okay, so now that I have how this is going to lay out, you can see I'm going to have that nice little white spot that's over there, and I'm going to be putting this on 3/4 of an inch from the side. Okay, from the right side. I'm just using my Versamat to measure that up. There you go. All right, I have to say, I'm really loving it. Okay, really loving it. I think it's gonna lay out. It's gonna lay out perfectly. I'm gonna raise this picture up some. There we go. All right, this picture here, I'm not gonna cover as much. Now there's one up here, kind of close because this is up a little higher. So there we go. And there's going to be one tucked under here, and then we're going to have one at the bottom. And let's go ahead and add all of our little bits and pieces. Okay. I'm not going to put the any of the balls on foam tape either. I'm feeling better already. I love to create, I'm trying to create every day, even if I just do a little something. And I have a video that is available about that. Like if you don't have time to do all of your creating, I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking I would probably like the white ball better because there's now so much toffee that the ball kind of blends a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink around it with some sapphire just to make it stand out a little bit more. I should have kept that nice and white like that little spot over there. I'll just use a sponge for that. And we'll see. And if not, you know what a great thing is? Go ahead and put it together. And if you end up that you want to redo them, just put it on top. Just remake it the way you want it and add a little bit of adhesive and stick it right on top of the other one and it'll be just fine. Trust me, I've done that one a lot. Just a little bit of sponging. I think that'll help add just a small bit of separation. It sure does. Okay. And we'll pop this one right here. There we go. This one's kind of tucked under the photo a little bit. I like that with that Run, Jacob, Run on there. And this one's down here, and I can see because my pictures are bigger, I have a little bit less room, and that's a-okay. I have my journaling strips right off to the side, and they're going to go right here. I think 3 will do me nicely. Since I went ahead and did the inking around those baseballs, just so that that's not or softballs, I better make sure I get it right. I'm going to go ahead and just ink around my journaling, and I'll add my journaling later on. I will not put foam tape on those because since I'm putting these on, I'll want to make sure that I can write on top of those. That's another area though that you can always do the trick of just cut another piece, write on it if you have an error or anything like that. If you get a little oopsie and put it right on top, you never know. Okay, so I'm gonna put these right here. I have this little file tab that will let me do the date that I got from that Loving Right Now stamp set. So I'll put this right here. I love tabs. So just adding my own little personal touches. Oh, and you know something, another tip is you can also turn them this way and put the date in that way. I've done that like off to the side and they're cute as well doing that. There we go. I have Feeling Happy. I thought that one was really cute. And I had my last one, which just says Loving Right Now. And we'll go ahead and add these and then add a little bit of bling and we will be done. Okay. I want to bring my journaling strips in at different starting points. So there we go. This one's a little bit more to the left. Okay. I have this little Feeling Happy tab. And I like that he just looks happy here. He's got a great smile. I'm just thinking it's a great spot to pop that up. I'll add a little bit of foam tape to that. There we go. And then I have this Loving Right Now. And I think I want to go ahead and just rough cut it. And I want to do a little tuck on it, but just to make sure that it's going to lay out the way I want it to. I don't want it to look perfect. I'm going to add some ink to that as well. And I did the stamping on these in Glacier. There we go. I'm going to put it right there. Oh, I like it. It looks really great. Okay, so I have the Run Jacob Run, a couple changes that I have that I mentioned. I have this little piece over here because I love accenting this border that we have. And then instead of having May the Course Be With You, which is really cool, I have Run Jacob Run in that place. The little journaling under. A lot of things here are kept very, very specific to the layout. So I only changed a few things. Okay, I'm going to bring in, I am trying to use up these enamel dots. This is my current D-stash. So something I have So This Happened. I almost forgot that and I liked that so much. I'm going to just grab this and move this one down and see if I like it as much. No, I'm going to put it back. So I'm going to put the So This Happened right here. Nope, moving the whole thing down just a little bit. There you go. Well, if it's kind to me, I will be. All right. I really like this. I have a little boo-boo that I pulled, but guess what? That's exactly where my sticker's going. Yay. Well, made sticker. Okay, so I have these, the bling, and I'm going to try to merge them in with some of the stars that I like from these blue dots, but I'm just going to grab these in. I'm okay if they don't match perfectly because I really am trying to de-stash. So I'm going to spread these around, and what's really nice is I can use as many as I want because the whole goal is to use up as many as I possibly can, right? There's one medium's going to make it right here. And I'm just going to kind of fill in. They're all large. So I'm guessing, oh, let me put that on. What a great layout. You know, Close to My Heart never fails to give us artwork that's so good we want to recreate it. Okay, I think that is going to be enough of the large ones for me. And what I want to do is I want to come in here and I just want to grab a couple of the stars of the sapphire. Just want to add a few of those stars. So the large star is actually still smaller, and I'm guessing maybe we're dealing with some outdoor denim and some older colors. So it just gives me some more blues that I'm going to pop in there. And I think I'm going to like that. Okay, I think we're going to go, yep. All right, so we're going to go here. You can even throw in some of the bluebird if you want to do that as well. Put that there. Put one here. Lots and lots of bling. I have a team. Oh, you can even, you know, add them to your journaling strips. I've done that. And I'm going to use the very last one as well. There. Okay. This guy here looks a little sad. Okay. I kind of like that better. Yep, I think I do. Okay. All right. And there it is. So we've done a remix and personalized it with what works. Look how great this page turned out. All right, I really like it. This will be a great addition to Jacob's book. And this is the first time that I've been able to scrapbook him playing softball. So that's pretty exciting for me as well, that I always am looking to scrapbook new things. I have so much fun. Okay, so always check out what's available in our book. I will keep up with these remixes that I have on this, like how'd they do that kind of thing. And always trying to share and show the gorgeous artwork that they have in there. This is my change up. I've shopped my stash. I've tried to make it super easy just by doing really full strips all the way across. I changed some sizes on my photos and everything else. I changed colors, and there you go. I made it work for what I have. Thank you so much for crafting with me today and stopping by here on my channel. Please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. And I would love to hear what you think about just taking the artwork out of the catalog and learning to make it with different ways and different techniques. And I would love to hear from you. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.